welcome back. It's episode 2 of Are You Not Entertained? Boys, I feel like it's been ages since I've seen you. Spoken to you by text, but not seen your faces, so it's nice to see you in the old Zoom call again. But we've got a lot. We've got a lot to talk about, and we've got to go, well, I think, immediately into the North London derby because it was a welcome bit of sunshine in dark times, I felt. So, like, things have almost changed completely from our last quite negative pod, apart from you, Ollie. Would you say you got the prediction right, actually, Ollie? Would you say you were pretty spot on, or how would you gauge it?
What was that, mate? Sorry?
Would you say you got the prediction spot on for North London derby, or would you say you was a little bit off?
I think I was spot on. There was a pen in the first 5 and the last 5. And it was 1-0, so I can't complain. No, I think the first time properly we saw like a Mourinho team. They looked like they knew what they were doing. There was a clear game plan. And yeah, it was a bit of a supposed masterclass, as they like to phrase it these days. But I thought the boys played really well, especially going a goal down. So a bit of a wonder goal from Lacazette. More poor defending from Aurier, you could say. He tried to give him the ball 3 times and finally did. And then he put it top corner. Fair play. What a strike. But to react the way we did, albeit from a mistake, was fantastic. And then I never felt like we were sort of lacking a huge amount of control and whatnot. I know I had lots of possession, but you don't have to have possession to control a game, I don't think. So I thought it was a good performance all round, really. I was very pleased afterward. And a bit of excitement. I actually cheered when we scored, which was nice. Haven't done that for a while. And even though we were 2-1 up, I didn't fear that we were going to fall apart. I don't know if that's a good thing, but
no, I do agree. Even like when we were, as you say, when we went 2-1 up, and even when we went 1-0 down, it wasn't like we were majorly panicking. I was thinking, oh, here we go. It could go wrong. But testament to the players, actually, when Serge gives it away, obviously, like, our condolences to his family and our hearts go out to him because he's going through a really horrible time. I can't even imagine losing Pete, for example. I don't know what I'd go through. But I thought, like, when he did it, no one reacted. No one really got on his back. And I thought that was pretty well done by the players. I was impressed by that. And then to score immediately afterwards, just a bit of a testament to that mental change that everyone's talking about. Yeah. And as you say, when we were 2-1 up, although we didn't necessarily, we could have actually grabbed a couple more. We started to count them quite well. But like you say, we didn't necessarily boss the game, but we were in control. I think you could say we had good control of it. We didn't look like we were in danger too often. I mean, I know they did hit the bar and things could change on big moments, but I was really pleasantly surprised with how I performed. Pete, I'm guessing you would have been pleasantly surprised as well. I mean,
mate, I was more concerned that after one episode of this, we'd look like we didn't have a clue what we were talking about. We'd all gone in negative, going, we can't see how we're going to get a win. And then 24 hours later, we win 2-1. And also when I said about, I think I said I wouldn't be too concerned if we lost that one. Of all the North London derbies to lose, that was one where I thought, like, if we lost, I'd be all right. And then, like, hour or so before kickoff, I started feeling sick and I was nervous, and the normal North London derby stuff kicked in. And then I was fuming when they scored. And like I say, obviously, I can't believe Aurier played, to be honest. I don't know if I'd be strong enough a character to be able to stand up and go, yeah, I'm mentally with it. I can play in this big game. I can do you a job, kind of thing. It'd be interesting.
That was a Newcastle game, P.
Oh, was it? Oh, yeah. Sorry. Well, then even then, I can't believe he played in that one then.
Yeah.
I do think it'd be interesting if it was a position that we had more cover in, if Mourinho would actually go, actually, no, I don't think you should. Because if it was, say, someone in the middle of the park, say Winksy or Sissoko or something, and he went, well, actually, I've got cover there, I think you should sit out, kind of thing. I don't know. But, yeah, it was solid. We just looked solid, and it was nice to see. And seemingly one goal for Son and his confidence to come back, and he started taking people on again. And Moore looked a different player, like he knew what he should be. Like he had an actual plan of what he should be doing. He was class on the day. Moore, I thought, was just everywhere. And it was funny afterwards. I thought, because we all said, "Oh, we can't watch Spurs play this for a year. Could I take this and and watch us maybe win a League Cup. And we did that. We won that game, and I thought, maybe I could watch that football for a year. All of a sudden, the whole brain changes, and you think, oh, maybe I could do it. We keep winning, maybe I could do it.
I think it's fair to say that the Bournemouth game was probably more the, like, that wasn't the norm, I don't think, because you think, even with, like we said about the goal straight after, when we played Sheffield United, like, we scored straight after, and it was ruled out for that, obviously, awful VAR decision. So if that had gone in, that might have gone the same way, we don't know, and then we're looking at a very different outlook. So I think there's definitely a lot of good things to take out of the restart for Mourinho. I think he's definitely got into the players a little bit, and we all saw the video that went around on Twitter where he called everyone a naughty word. That I'm not going to say on the pod, which makes that Amazon documentary going to be fascinating for sure, obviously. But I can certainly see a lot more of Mourinho coming into our players, and I think he's going to come good. Personally, I think he's going to do a job for us. I think personally.
Oh, I hope so. And I was going to say,
sorry,
it's all right, Pete. Is it a testament to him that these performances were so similar from the North London derby to the Newcastle game that you could get confused as to which game it was? He played the same. Did his Taylor mistake to give them a goal?
Yeah, that was.
And then we go on and win the game. So really, I mean, Serge is the catalyst for both victories by doing exactly the same thing. Give that team a little bit of hope, and then we'll snatch it away from them again.
The Aurier way.
Exactly, the Serge way. And also, Pete, we have to give Mourinho and Serge a little bit of credit in that me and you were both extremely concerned that he was just going to let him wander up the pitch in the North London derby particularly.
Yeah.
And Aubameyang just run wild. And then I actually worried a little bit about that happening against Newcastle, and I thought St. Maximin might be on. Yeah. He played a bit more central. But both times, actually, he seemed to be holding back. He wasn't.
But I also think he was pushed back a little bit by playing by going 4-4-2. You had that flat four across the middle, and that winger in front of him pushed him or forced him to not go past, because they stayed wide and trapped their own fullback a lot. Which helped, I think.
It's quite interesting. I was obviously with Arsenal and the Newcastle game. We've got, obviously, for us, we've had both games, but it was the exact same team, but playing two different formations in slightly different ways. I thought was quite interesting. It was the same personnel, just playing different positions, which I thought was interesting. But you said about Lucas Moura there, Pete, and he's great for one game in 10, but for me, I don't think he's a starter for us. I love him. I think he's great. He's a wicked squad player off the bench and that. But I think personally, he's when Bergwijn came on against Newcastle, for example, he made things happen straight away. And after the North London derby, it's one of those things for more. You want to see him push on, and he doesn't.
Yeah.
Which annoys me. He's really good.
I think it's with the shapes, though. For more, it looked like it's only one game, but I think it makes sense that as a left mid, he's very good. He could be a very good right mid as well. But as a side midfielder, he looked pretty perfect for it. He works extremely hard. He won a ridiculous amount of ball.
It was like 10 tackles, 12 tackles, something stupid like that.
It's been outrageous. He won more tackles than like your defenders are going to do. It was ridiculous. And also his attacking, his creativity was
a couple of free balls.
A couple cracking through balls that I've never really seen him play. And he's like whole Spurs, and I saw them immediately and just went, I'm going to do that. Whereas normally he seems to overthink and doesn't play the best ball that is available. But then I agree that I don't think if you're going to a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1, then he probably shouldn't be starting, would be my opinion. The 4-4-2 will be useful. I mean, for example, maybe in our next game against Leicester, it might be useful. But in the games against the lower teams where you're probably going to control a bit more ball, I don't really want to see him starting. I would prefer to see Stevie, which maybe is slightly harsh on Lucas, but like you say, Ollie, he can be great for one game, i.e. Ajax, and then for the next 3 games, he could be dreadful. His stats are not great.
Because before the North London derby, I find it hard to think of another performance where we went, that was unbelievable. Between North London and Ajax, sorry.
Yeah, I was finding it extremely frustrating, especially since the restart. Really frustrating to watch. And I think that was partly where he was playing in that sort of inside right role. Whereas this is perfect for him to a T.
He's weird though, isn't he? Because even when he has played inside right, there's times where he draws people in and turns and goes really, really well, and like will spin you if you get too tight to him. But then if you stand him up, face him up like 1-on-1, it's like he's got no ideas. It's really weird. Like, yeah, he's pure pace as well, and I don't see him ever take people on. The other thing he doesn't do, which infuriates me, is running behind.
Yeah.
He never ever tries to make that one off the fullback, ever. And you think you should be so good if you think about doing that. The way like Salah would or Mane would for Liverpool is driving at the wall.
Yeah, that is my biggest bugbear for him, definitely, that he doesn't run in behind. I started to believe he was a bit of a myth. Like, I think you said, that he's the fastest player in the world that never runs fast.
He runs fast going back to track someone, and never fast going forward.
Which is great, fantastic defensive work rate, but do it forward as well. I mean, most players are the other way around, aren't they, when they're desperate to bring it up and not to come back. But yeah, that is the biggest frustration, that he doesn't run in behind. And for me, not many of our players this season have really made any runs in behind. Only recently, maybe Kane's made a few. But I think wingers, Sonny included, have not really been putting those long busting runs in behind. Maybe they don't trust anyone to play them through.
Yeah,
I think is a big part of it, because you make those runs when a certain player's on the pitch, you kind of lose the confidence to do it. And if you don't rate the person who's on the ball, you don't think they're going to be able to play it, which I think is a bit of a telling problem.
I thought it was interesting after the North London derby where Mourinho came out and said that he went with a 4-4-2 with the two up top, with one to come short, i.e. Kane, and one to run in behind, which was Son. But I can't think of many times we actually did that.
Yeah,
like you said, we seem to be scared, not scared to run in behind, but for whatever reason, they just don't seem to do it. I don't know if that's a coaching thing or what. I don't know.
I don't think they saw the point. I genuinely think they don't see the point. Like, the only time Sonny made a good run in behind was when Socrates got on the ball, because that guy will slip me through. But I don't think he thought any of our players would get it. I think that's the big problem.
It was actually Kolasinac.
Oh, it was Kolasinac, yeah. I get them two quite confused, actually, even though they're very...
But then I'd be thinking the same, like Sissoko picking up the ball in the middle of the park. I know he played wide in the North London derby, but are you going to run in behind when Sissoko picks up the ball? No. Winks, when he picks up the ball, you're going to run in behind? I mean, he can sometimes. He'll try and clip one over the top, but 9 times out of 10, he's going sideways. So we haven't replaced Eriksen for that at all. And fingers crossed Gio can do it, but they've almost, like you said, Jez, it's gone out there. It's not in their routine anymore because they've lost that confidence. And to be fair as well, for maybe 3 or 4 months before Eriksen left, we stopped making runs in behind because he was dog dirt and he couldn't find a pass to save his life, and he was just terrible for however many months, just gave the ball away for fun. And I think it all stems from that. It kind of has just petered down and they've stopped making those runs.
I think, we've got one player who can make a forward pass like that, but he's out of favour, for the polite term. Should be an Omelette. Or he's injured now, or as you reckon,
be interesting to see.
He's been sold.
Be interesting to see if he's in the squad today or not.
Well, Moose said he's out for the last 2 games, isn't he? He said.
Was he?
Yeah. He said after the Newcastle game, before the Newcastle game.
And he said it in quite...
He's going to say it's in a really weird way, didn't he? That he's not going to help us or something like that.
He said, Tanguy, I know Tanguy's not going to help us. And then sort of rolled on with who was out and so on, who's available. Which, is my thinking, is that I think he's gone, but maybe we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
A bit later.
What do you boys make of Son at the minute? In this season?
It's funny because he could potentially get player of the season. It's a really bad year, but I think he would say himself that he's not had a good season at all. His stats are pretty decent. Aren't they his best stats? Like 10 goals, 11 assists, something like that? Yeah,
it's unbelievable. I think he's 3rd in the league in goals and assists per 90 minutes.
Yeah, I mean...
Which is insane.
His stats are really good, but he just looks, his confidence is shot. He looks like he doesn't want to take anyone on, whereas he, sort of trademark of just do one step over, take it to the left and
go.
Since the restart, I think he doesn't seem to have the confidence. He was like sort of fumbling on the ball and maybe trying to step over, but it gets the ball stuck in his feet. He doesn't look anywhere near the player he was last year. I do think he will come good, but I just think he's been very hot and cold this year. But but almost the best of a bad bunch at the same time.
Very much so. Very much so.
I can't think of. I don't know who'd pop in ahead of him for player of the season, really, because you can't give it to anyone in the back line because we've been shipping goals. Centre of the park, we've looked soft. It's not been like Kane's scored, but again, since he come back from his injury, he's not been great. We can't gloss over the fact that the man scored 201 goals for Spurs now, though, club goals. That's madness.
The namesake of our podcast.
Yeah, please don't leave.
Please.
Yeah, let's get a whole new name. H, please don't.
Are you not Enter Sand? No, you can't use that.
On the same ring to it.
Can't use that. That would be really.
Are you not Enter Dombalade?
Are you not Dombalade? And then that might be a good one, but Enter Sand we definitely can't use because that will be really.
No, definitely not.
We'll have to change the content. People well, some people will, but they're not the viewers you want. They're not the listeners you want.
Going back to Sonny though, he has had some big moments this year. Obviously, he's got the equaliser against Arsenal. Scored against City when we beat them at home. He got two against Villa. Scored that one right at the death.
He did. He broke his arm.
Before I almost like as if it's two different campaigns. Before the restart, he scored some great goals. I mean, the one against Burnley was ridiculous when he just ran the whole pitch.
Oh yeah.
And at that point, he's obviously is taking players on quite comfortably, and he was playing well. Like when Kane was out injured, he always steps up. But yeah, I'm almost looking as if it's just the restart. When of course you need to look for that's very recent memory, sort of human nature, isn't it?
I always find, like you said there about when Kane's out, Son steps up. I always find the interesting mentality of a player that when H does come back, do you step that? Do you know what I mean? Like in your head, do you think, oh, he's back now, almost, or is it more of I need to carry on, or what? I find it interesting, like the mentality side of things like that.
But off that, I kind of liked when he broke through against Arsenal and didn't square it to him. I say I kind of liked it. I mean, he should have squared it.
Yeah.
And had Kane just finish the game for us.
But I think Kane had one of them as well, didn't he?
Yeah. But you kind of like that because although City get a fantastic amount of goals from getting into those positions and just squaring it to each other, you do like to see that your striker or your more forward-thinking players are confident that they'll just bury it themselves. Kind of a catch-22, which way you want to go.
Yeah. I don't know. I think, for me, I think if you've got a chance to score, so if someone has got a better chance of scoring, you should be passing it.
Yeah, no, I do agree, but in a weird sense of I can be the main man. It doesn't always have to be you. It kind of like that Sonny did that. I saw a fair few fans, boys, saying that in the Newcastle game we played 4-4-2, the same as North London Derby, which to me didn't seem to be the case at all.
No, we went
slightly different.
3-1.
Yeah, but a load of fans were trying to say that we played that shape. That's the shape Mourinho's going to do for the rest of the season. But I thought it was quite clearly 4-2-3-1. Gio was kind of allowed to be a bit higher in that game. Some points 4-3-3.
Yeah.
Off of that, would you use the 4-4-2 in any big game? So I suppose anyone who's above us or anyone you deem to be perhaps a better side. Would you use that as a weapon? Is it something, or is it just something you'd use it free at the back?
It's difficult. It worked against Arsenal because Arsenal played three centre halves. So it meant that the midfield battle was basically 2v2. If someone else goes free, and Leicester will normally play free at the back, so it could well work against Leicester. But I think as soon as someone puts a third centre midfielder in there and you start going 3v2, then it completely changes the dynamic of it. So yeah, I'd be tempted to use it against Leicester, especially as Chilwell looks like he's out for the season. He'd have been their main threat down the left-hand side. So then, I can't think of the lad's name, but they brought a young kid in who's been playing there. So you'd feel like Sissoko should be able to deal with that and bully him, and then you let Moura do what he did on the left against Arsenal. But yeah, I think as soon as you put 3v2 in the middle of the park, it changes the whole dynamics of the game.
I think it depends if your right winger is Sissoko, will he not fill in and fill that gap a little bit? And then just depending, you got that sort of, depends how it looks, isn't it? I think you look at Simeone, and he's always played the 4-4-2 in big games, isn't he? And him and Mourinho are very similar in their coaching tactics, isn't it? So I think I think with any formation, it's how the players play it, isn't it? It's not the formation necessarily always, it's how it's played.
Yeah, it depends how. I know what you mean. It depends how rigid you are within that formation. But it's interesting that we were talking about before about Mourinho and his style of football and how it doesn't seem to be a style anymore. And then you look what Arsenal have done the last 2 games where they've blocked off their avenues for passing. They've made it so compact. They forced City wide every time last night to put crosses in the box to Jesus, which is never going to work. And apparently it does still work.
Did Mourinho do a job on Arteta, imprint on him? And he's going to forget Pep's teachings, they were all wrong. I'm working off the master Mourinho now. Is that what's happened?
It is quite funny. I did see quite a lot of tweets saying that Mikel learned more off Mourinho in 90 minutes than he did off Pep in 4 years, which just made me chuckle. But I think you've got to be able to play both ways. I think you've got to be able to be competent at both ways. You know, they always say if you're going to win a league, you have to be able to defend. So to do that is probably one of the hardest things I think to coach. I think there's a lot of you hear about Mourinho sort of saying that he builds his defence and attackers go off and do whatever they want within reason. And you can kind of see a little bit of that. So I think it'd be definitely good to see some attacking coaching as well for us. Like we said about the attacking, you've got Son going through missing, H going through missing. If they worked together, they could have been 4-1, 3-1. Do you know what I mean? Like that's to me, that's more important than personal glory. But then,
I am.
We won, but we could have won more comfortably, and that's the only question mark you'd have over it is we have to be really ruthless.
I am hoping we'll see much more of an attacking plan next season, but it is worrying because the break is so small, so you can actually have much of a pre-season to go out and change things and bring players in and get them sort of embedded. It's really a nightmare for him in that sense.
I think it's a 4-week break and then a month and a half pre-season and then we go straight again. I think it is top of my head. Like that. So he's still got a decent pre-season.
Yeah, for some reason I had it in my head that it was like that 4-week break and then barely any time in.
Yeah, I might be wrong. I've read that somewhere. I don't know where I read that, but I think Mourinho might have said that. But I think
you're right.
I think I said to you boys on the group chat that at the minute we've got a functional team that Mourinho's put together just to get us through the season. Build some confidence, build some momentum. And I think when we can sign some players, because it's blatantly obvious we're missing big parts of the team. We've not got someone who can hold and sit in midfield. There's no backup striker to Kane. He's played every game and every minute since the restart, pretty much.
Yeah.
We've got no right-back options. And we're going to lose Vertonghen. Alderweireld's getting older. So we need a centre-back, so...
I read Mourinho was linking it to like when he joined Porto. I think he said in like 2002 where he joined halfway through the season and the back end of that season he said was terrible, but he used it as like a learning process to get to know the club, to get to know what he had and what he needed. So hopefully he's doing that.
Yeah.
What would you like to see?
Got Paul for players. He's still Mourinho. Players still want to play for him.
That was terrible from both of us. Who would you like to see come in then? Jez, you linked it to said about the transfer window being quite shortened.
I've got a wish list. One of my wishes is that Tanguy won't leave,
and he gets played,
and that he gets a bit of play. I did see a couple articles stating that although we didn't have any quotes from Mourinho, I do think it's kind of like hearsay and people just having their opinion on it. But the article saying that if we bring in Højbjerg, who we're obviously very much touted to bring in, that is Mourinho's plan to free Tanguy, if you will. Playing Højbjerg as the holding midfielder and then letting Gio and Tanguy be either side of him in a 4-3-3, which I love. It does sort of, I do wonder if that is the case, but we'll soon find out. But I'm a little bit sketchy as to whether I think that's going to be true or not, because I just don't see that Tanguy wants to stay. In my opinion, if I was him, I'd probably want to leave. But the players I would want to sign, I'd like Max Aarons to come in and be our new right back. I'd love to have Ake from Bournemouth, and I think both those teams will go down, so it shouldn't be too difficult to go and get them. Both got a good presence.
Norwich are gone though anyway, aren't they?
Exactly, Norwich are already gone. Bournemouth, I think, will go down as well. And I had one more that I was quite interested in, actually. I'm trying to think of it. So I wasn't overly bothered about getting an extra striker, which probably seems mad. But I was
someone in the attacking midfield for you, said Jez.
I was intrigued by Coutinho.
Yeah.
But the thing is, that probably indicates that we may be swapping Ndombele for him. So I could take that or leave it. But the big ones for me were those three: Ake, Aarons, and Højbjerg. I will take as an extra or defensive midfield we don't really have at his current time.
So the thing with Aarons is, though, I think because he's young and he's English, his price will go through the roof. And I do think we'll get a right back, and I think we'll end up getting Meunier on free.
No, he's gone to Dortmund.
Has he gone already? Is he?
He's gone, mate. Yeah, he's done.
Oh, so then we won't do that.
I didn't know that happened.
Yeah, no, he's gone. He went there a couple of weeks ago. They signed him all done up. I think we will sign a right back, but I don't think we'll sign Aarons. I don't think he's done enough for me to get that big transfer that everyone expected him to get when they came up.
See, I like him. I do like him.
I'm not saying I don't like him, but I think Mourinho would fancy someone more sort of, what's the word for it? They're bigger and they're going to have more of an impact, and they'll be more sort of physical with other players. And so I think he's a bit short for Mourinho, but might be wrong.
Well, speaking
when he had Ivanovic at Chelsea.
Yeah, that sort of player. But with that, we've got one player like that in Tanganga. So where does Mourinho see him? Because he could be an interesting one. I think we need to get a backup striker. We've been linked with the guy from Lille, haven't we? I'm not going to try and pronounce his name. Osherman, something like that, I think his name is. I did try it. It did quite well. He's really young, but he's like 80 million, something stupid like that. So we're not buying him.
Never get
unless we get a good price for him. But the other guy I quite like is Milik from Napoli. I think he'd be a good pickup for us. He's only 25, good age.
It's difficult to bring in a striker because you know you're going to just have to sit him down and go, look, you're not playing a lot.
But I think they would play a lot because gets injured.
Well,
and he can't always score.
But let's assume he doesn't get injured. He's going to start. You'd say
he needs competition though, I think, as well.
You get cup games. Even if you don't sit him down, then let's say you don't have to sit him down. They know that they're going to play back up to Kane.
Yeah, for sure.
So it takes so you either go really young and then you hope that they hit the ground running. So if you're going to do that, just play Troy Parrott. Why bother bringing in anyone else?
Yeah.
Or you have to go old, like we did with Llorente. No one's going to want to come second choice in their peak years of their career.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, he's a blessing and a curse, isn't he?
That is.
But that's why I think Troy. You just got to let Troy Parrott. I don't really want Europa League football. I mean, I get it as for the club, it will be an income and it will bring revenue and stuff. But I just don't enjoy it. I remember when we used to get in it all the time. Some of the games, you should get dragged down to their level, and it's just awful. We used to play awful games of football on a Thursday night and hate it, unless, like I think I said last time, play Troy Parrott in the Europa League.
Yeah, it's good. It's good for squad rotation.
Yeah, exactly.
Because otherwise, we'll end up with 15 players that play every game. So, and then we're going to lack that squad depth that we've crying out for that you need, really.
Mourinho has spoken about using it as rotation as well in the early stages. I did like his comment on 2 games to win the Europa League. Quite like that from him. We said joke with the players that if they win these last 2 games, well, we'll win the Europa League because I'm here. Which I did quite like. I think they need that sort of tell them that they're so good. We're so much better than this competition, so we'll win it easily. Almost not making them naive, but just giving them a bit of a ballsy nature to them. Ollie was talking about his quote, which Ollie, I do think you can swear on here. I hope that the target audience is over 16, over 18. So I reckon you.
It's it's the naughtiest of swear words. There's levels, and that's the top one you can't say.
Pete says it all day, every day. He just wakes up eating breakfast, miserable about Spurs, bunch of bloody. Whereas Ollie, you're
Done
waking
so well.
unicorns and eating your Cheerios to keep you happy. Different characters.
I
I
see.
think it's spot on, Jed. I think
I just eat gravel out of a bowl. I'm grumpy about it.
he gets coal for Christmas every year.
And complain about it as he does it.
Anyway, we're moving off topic here. Forget my breakfast cereals.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've not got actually much time, boys. So I think we're going to ask you a couple of questions before we go, because we'll run out of time meeting. First one, score predictions. Oh, actually, what formation would you play and score for the Leicester game? Pete, what would you go?
I've got to be negative. I don't know. I just feel like they're on a bit of a run where they know they need to. They've all of a sudden the pressure's ramped up on them a little bit, and I think that could be in our favour. Because Chelsea and United are all there or thereabouts now. They're all pretty. I think are they level with points, and United and Chelsea are ahead of them or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Chelsea are a point ahead or 2 points ahead.
Something. So it's really tight. So all of a sudden that pressure to get in the Champions League for them is ramped up, especially now you know that City's ban has been overturned, which is mental, by the way. I think that pressure could help us. I go 4-4-2. I think score draw.
Score draw. I also think score draw and 4-4-2. So then I'll throw it to you, Ollie. I think 1-1. Probably Vardy and Kane scoring, if I'm going real simple.
I'm thinking 4-4-2. I think he's going to go the same sort of style as he went against Arsenal. Give Leicester the possession. We know that Mourinho's happy to sort of cede the ball and that and the possession stats and whatnot. He doesn't care about that. And I think it'd be 2-2, something like that. I do think a score draw as well. Or if someone's going to nick it, I don't know, because they have to win and we don't have to win. So will their desire overall our desire and they'll nick one at the end? I don't know. But they have been dog shit. So I don't know.
Ollie, please don't in the pod. Thank you.
Yeah, I realise that. we did so well. We got 35 minutes if it was. But they've been crap. And I think that if now I've said that, they're probably going to win. So but now I'll stick 2-2 is my prediction.
Most negative, Ollie Atto over here.
Just one of those days, mate.
You've had a hard day, have you? Sunday afternoon.
I trained this morning, that's why I'm miserable. I trained.
Of course, you'll do some exercise. And boys, last one. We've got less than a minute, so we'll go quick ones. But last 2 games, have you been entertained?
Yeah, I think so. I don't feel like. Yeah, we talked about it. We did say if you win games, your whole mentality changes. So yeah, even though it's stupid, but then I would say the performances helped that because they were the Bournemouth performance was diabolical.
Yeah, it was.
That might have been the worst I think I've ever seen us play, or there or thereabouts. And the performances were up. So yes, I would say so. I have been entertained.
Ollie,
I've been entertained. I'm on board the Mourinho train. I'm all in.
Yeah, I have to admit, Arsenal. I enjoyed the performance against Newcastle. I'll take that. A few goals.
Yeah.
And it's terrible. So I too have been entertained. And boys, it's been lovely to see you. And see you next week sometime.